Good morning, everybody. What is happening today? I don't know what this is, but it's fun. Haha, this is Krista Abbott with Inspire with Fire, and I think I've had a little bit too much coffee this morning. But I'm happy to be here with you guys, and we are going to have some fun today. Welcome as you come into the room. Just drop a note in the comments. Good morning, Wanda. Here you are, so faithful. Thank you for being here. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Good morning, Nancy. Good to see you this morning. I just love it when you guys show me some comments and let me know you're here. So as you guys come into the room this morning, just drop a hello in the comments. Say good morning. Let me know where you're watching from. And if you are catching this on the replay, then be sure and give me a hashtag replay. I don't know if anybody does that anymore. But hashtag replay in the comments if you're catching this on the replay. I'm excited this morning because Jesus helped me get up. And I've been batting about 50% on this getting up early thing that I've been trying out, but I do like it because I have a much more productive day, and I go to bed a lot earlier at night when I do this. So anyway, I'm excited and I'm rambling a little bit from all that coffee I had. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. Good morning, Claire. Good morning. Good morning. Great to see you guys. Okay, so today we're going to continue on with part 3, and this should wrap up the God's Constant Love series. Who knew I would have a series? But there you go. It's a 3-part series now. Totally unplanned. But 5 seconds, we'll be right back, and we will jump right in. Boom! Here I am, back. All right. So, as you guys know, for those who have been here, we have been talking about God's love, and our inspiration has been coming from Psalm 107, verse 1, which says, "Let everyone give all their praise and thanks to the Lord." Here's why: He's better than anyone could ever imagine. Yes, He's always loving and kind, and His faithful love never ends. I just love that verse. And more importantly, I love the way the Passion Translation lays it out. And this whole chapter, in fact, has just been a joy to dive into. And that's what I want to do with you guys today is dive into the chapter. And we've talked about the characteristics, the 9 characteristics of God's faithfulness that is laid out and demonstrated in here. And as I was going through it again this morning, I actually found a couple of more that I missed the first time I went through it. So I may point them out as we go along this morning. But I'm going to go ahead because I want to be mindful of the time. And look, we're going to do a screen share. I know you guys know all about the Bible Gateway. Hopefully you do. If not, it's thebomb.com, so check it out, BibleGateway.com, and you can pretty much find, a gazillion translations and compare side by side, do side by side comparisons of different verses and see how different translations word them. And if you don't already have a Passion Translation Bible and you've been enjoying some of the verses that I share, then you can, go and explore the Passion Translation a little bit at Bible Gateway. So that'll be fun too. But let's go ahead and jump into this. Good morning, Muhammad. Great to see you here. All right. So let me see if I can work this. There we go. Is it moving? Yay! All right. So our first verse there at the top, we've already gone through. So I want to show you guys where the first characteristic came from. And if you remember, our first characteristic was that God redeems and gathers. So that's actually right there in verse 2. So go ahead, let everyone know it. Tell the world how He broke through and delivered you from the power of darkness and has gathered us together from all over the world. He has set us free to be His very own. So that is where we find the characteristic of God, that He redeems and He gathers right there. So He delivered us from the power of darkness and he gathered us together from all over the world. So that's the picture of redemption and gathering. So that's where we find that characteristic. And then as we keep reading through, some of us once wandered in the wilderness like desert nomads with no true direction or dwelling place. Starving, thirsting, staggering, we became desperate and filled with despair. Then we cried out, and I find in this particular passage that this is where we find the characteristics of God show up the most is, then we cried out, Lord, help us, rescue us, and he did. He led us right into the place of safety and abundance, a suitable city to dwell in. So characteristic number 2 that we had as we were looking at this in part 1 was that he rescues us from trouble and he keeps us safe. And so this is where we find this. We cried out, Lord, rescue us, and he did. And then when he rescued us, he led us into a place of safety, but not only safety, abundance, and a suitable city to dwell in. So when God does rescue us, he not only takes us to a place that is safe, but he takes us to a place that is abundant and suitable. Oh, I love that. I love it. Love it. So, because he's done this, what are we going to do? We're going to lift up our hands and thank God for his marvelous kindness and for all his miracles of mercy for those he loves. God's love, remember, this whole conversation has been about how God's love is steadfast and faithful and how he's always going to be, he is the constant. It is constant. We don't have to wonder about it. We don't have to, is it going to be here today and not here tomorrow? God's love is constant and it is steady and stable. We can rely on it. All right. Now, verse 9, how he satisfies the souls of thirsty ones and fills the hungry with all that is good. So if you guys remember, number 3, of God's characteristics that we found was that he provides for our needs. So hunger and thirst are basic human needs, right? God provides for that. He satisfies the souls of thirsty ones and fills the hungry with all that is good. Now, obviously, this isn't just talking about natural hunger. This is also talking about the soul hunger. So the desires, the things that we long for, the things that we need to sustain us. Thirst and hunger come and are generated because there's something that is a life necessity that we need to access to carry us through and to keep us moving. So not only does our physical body need that, but our soul and our spirit needs that as well. So God not only meets the needs of our physical body, over in the New Testament where he talks about the birds of the air and how he takes care of them. But God also sustains and fills the hunger and the thirst of our spiritual body, of our internal person, of our heart, of our soul, our spirit. So he satisfies the thirst and the hunger of all aspects of our humanity. Come on, somebody. Some of us once sat in darkness, living in the dark shadows of death. We were prisoners to our pain, chained to our regrets. For we rebelled against God's word and rejected the wise counsel of God Most High. So he humbled us through our circumstances. That's one that I missed the first time I went through it, but that's another characteristic of God that we could add as a bonus. Bonus characteristic, anybody? Is that he humbles us, and his move to humble us is not to hurt us, but it's to grow us and to bring us to a higher level of spiritual growth and abundance with him. So he humbled us through our circumstances. So the circumstances and the things that we go through are used by God to promote us in the spirit, because remember, God exalts the humble, but he brings down the proud. So if God is trying to develop humility in us through circumstances, then He's trying to elevate us. It's actually a compliment if God humbles you, because his desire is to elevate you after he humbles you. That's just so exciting to me. When you get that revelation, it will completely flip and change your whole perspective about the circumstances that you walk through in life. So stay stay low. Yeah, stay low. Yeah, I've been there too, Julie. And it's never fun, or when you're going through it, it's sometimes painful. And seriously, no fun at all sometimes. But on the other side of that, I always know there's going to be some sort of an elevation in life. And that anytime that God takes us to a place of greater humility, it's because he wants to take us to a higher plane in the spirit. So I'm all about getting me to the higher plane in the spirit. So, well, let's just walk through it and get there, right? So he humbles us through our circumstances, watching us as we stumble, with no one there to pick us back up. Our own pain became our punishment. Then what happened? We cried out, Lord, rescue us. And guess what? He did. He did again. Let's move this up a little bit. Whoop, whoop, not too far. His light broke through the darkness, and he led us out in freedom from death's dark shadow. Are you guys as excited about this as I am? He led us out in freedom from death's dark shadow and snapped every one of our chains. So our pain become our punishment. Where he watched us stumble, he watched us fall. No one was there to pick us back up. He brought us to that point so that we could say, there's not a man or a woman I can depend on. I have to cry out to the Lord. Lord, rescue me. And he does. He steps in and he breaks through the darkness, and he breaks through the chains that are holding us back. Death's dark shadow, oh gosh, death bearing down on you, and you just want to crawl into a hole and cover up and die or something. But God's love breaks through all of that, and he snaps all of those chains that are holding you back. Why? Why? So, right, check it out. So you can lift your hands and give thanks to God for his marvelous kindness and for his miracles of mercy for those he loves. For he smashed through the heavy prison doors and shattered the steel bars that held us back just to set us free. And that was the next one. He smashed through. That was what? Number 5. He brings freedom to captives. Number 4, I think I got too excited and missed it there, but up in verse 14 where the green highlighting is, his light broke through the darkness. That was the 4th characteristic of God's faithfulness. He brings light into the dark places. And then number 5, there in verse 16 where the yellow highlight is, that is he brings freedom to the captives. Whew. Y'all just take a deep breath. Take all of this in. I hope you're feeling it and getting as much out of it as I am. I mean, this 3-day look at Psalm 107 has completely transformed. I already knew of God's faithfulness and his love. I mean, my theme song, my theme worship song is Goodness of God, which is, talking about this completely. But having this little study over the past 3 days has just really driven it so much deeper in my spirit. And I hope that it's doing the same for you and that you can feel what I'm feeling. I really do. And Lord, in fact, I just impart that to them right now. Everybody watching this live with me today, everyone who comes in and catches it on the replay later, God, I just ask that you impart to them the revelation of your constant love, the revelation of your faithfulness, and the revelation of your goodness. Whatever level they may already believe that, God, I just ask that you would elevate it and that you would take that belief deeper in their heart, and it would then just flip them higher into a greater elevation of your spirit and understanding of your love for us, God. You're awesome, Jesus. You're awesome. And I just ask that your awesomeness be revealed to everybody watching today. In Jesus' name. All right, let's keep going. Some of us were such fools, bringing on ourselves sorrow and suffering, all because of our sins, sick and feeble, unable to stand the sight of food. Then what happened? I think I'm seeing a theme here. Then we cried out, Lord, help us, rescue us. And he did. God spoke the words, be healed. And we were healed, delivered from death's door. That was number 6 in our list of 9 characteristics. God heals the sick. He heals those who are knocking at death's door, whether it's knocking at death's door financially, physically, mentally, emotionally, relationally, whatever area of your life you just feel is at death's door, that's struggling, that's hurting, that's not whole, that's not full, whatever area of your life that may be in, cry out to God, Lord, help me, rescue me, and he will. He'll speak healing, he'll speak life, and he'll come and he'll bring that deliverance from death's door. And when he does this, what do? What is our response? So lift up your hands and give thanks to God for his marvelous kindness, for his miracles of mercy for those he loves. Bring your praise as an offering and your thanks as a sacrifice as you sing your story of miracles with a joyful song. Some of us set sail upon the sea to faraway ports, transporting our goods from ship to shore. We were witnesses of God's power out in the ocean's deep. Hold on, I got to move it up. We were witnesses of God's power out in the ocean deep. We saw breathtaking wonders upon the high seas. When God spoke, he stirred up a storm, lifting high the waves with hurricane winds. Now, I live in Florida. I know hurricane winds. That's some serious winds, y'all. They tore my fence down, tore my roof off. Hurricane winds ain't nothing to play with. Ships were tossed by swelling sea, rising to the sky, then dropping down to the depths, reeling like drunkards, spinning the tops, everyone at their wits' end, until even sailors, people who are used to being on the ocean, they were despaired of life, cringing in terror. People that live in this environment, they're sailors, they're on the ocean, they're seamen, they're there all the time. These guys were like, oh my gosh, this is so bad, we're afraid, we're cringing in terror for our life. That's pretty serious. But then what happened? Then we cried out, Lord, help us, rescue us. And guess what? He did. I love this. God stilled the storm, calmed the waves, and he hushed the hurricane winds to only a whisper. So, number 7 of our characteristics of God's faithfulness was that he calms life's storms. When you're afraid, when everything that you're used to is flipped upside down, God comes in. God, rescue me. He calms it to a whisper. Take that in for a second while I wet my whistle. We were so relieved, so glad, as he guided us safely to harbor in a quiet haven. That could be another one right there. He guides us safely to harbor. So not only does he calm the storms of life when everything's going crazy and raging around us, but then after he calms it, he steers the ship and he guides us safely to harbor. That's bonus number 2. So what are we going to do? I see a theme here too. Lift up our hands and give thanks to God for his marvelous kindness and for his miracles of mercy for those he loves. Let's exalt him on high and lift up our praises in public. Let the people and the leaders of the nation know how great and wonderful is Yahweh, our God. Wherever he chooses, he can dry up a river. Whenever he chooses, he can dry up a river and turn the land into a desert. Or he can take a fruitful land and make it into a saltwater swamp, all because of the wickedness of those who dwell there. But he also can turn a barren wilderness into an oasis with water. He can make springs flow into desert lands and turn them into fertile valleys so that cities spring up. And he gives it all to those who are hungry. They can plant their fields and vineyards there and reap a bumper crop and a fruitful harvest. Verse 38, which gives us characteristic number 8 of God's faithfulness and constant love. God will bless them and cause them to multiply and prosper. Come on, somebody. Give me some fire emojis or something in the comments. Let me know you're feeling the fire. We're inspiring with fire this morning. We got the fire. But others will become poor, humbled because of their oppression, tyranny, and sorrows. For God pours contempt upon their arrogant abuse of power, heaping scorn upon their princes, and making them wander among ruins. But he raises up the poor and lowly. Thank you, Julie. Thank you for the fire emojis. He raises up the poor and lowly with his favor, giving them a safe place to live where no one can touch them. God will grant them a large family and bless them. No, verse 41 was our 9th characteristic of God, and that was that he defends and rescues. But it also reaffirms characteristic number 8 of God's blessing and multiplication by saying that he will grant them a large family and bless them. The large family is the multiplication that it was talking about up in verse 38. And the blessing is just the ongoing blessing of God, where he takes the things that are working against us and he uses them to then in turn bless us. Did you hear that? He takes the things that are working against us and uses them to in turn bless us. So, if you have something going on in your life right now that seems troublesome or is challenging, then based on everything we've read today, the goodness, the faithfulness, and the constant love of God, Lord, rescue me. And he will. And he will. Now, I want to bring us to our focus or our inspiration for today. We started this 2 days ago with our inspiration coming from the top of Psalm 107, the first verse. We're going to end it with our inspiration coming from the last verse, which says this. Well, let me read the one above it first. The lovers of God will rejoice when they see this. I'm rejoicing today. Good men are glad when evil ones are silenced. If you are truly wise, and this is our focus for today. If you are truly wise, I want to be wise. I don't know about you. I think you do too. You're here. And I thank you for being here. Good morning, Ruthie. Good to see you. Julie, Wanda. Who else we got? Nancy's probably still here. Claire, Muhammad. Thank you guys so much for being with me today. If you are truly wise, I'm going the wrong way. How do we get this up? There we go. If you are truly wise, you'll learn from what I've told you. It's time for you to consider these profound lessons of God's great love and mercy. Whoa. If you are truly wise, you'll learn from what I've told you. It's time for you to consider these profound lessons of God's love and mercy. Y'all, I love it. I don't even know what other words I could put to it when God has pretty much said it all in Psalm 107 here about his love, his faithfulness, his mercies. And just, recapping it, I put it all together on this slide for you guys. I'll post it on Facebook in the feed sometime today. I'll put it up as one of my daily posts so you can, snapshot it if you want to. But recapping, he redeems and gathers. He rescues from trouble and keeps us safe. He provides. Oh, I have a typo there. I'll fix that before I post it. He provides. Don't have no E in it. He provides for our needs. Hey, I'm human. He brings light to dark places. He brings freedom to captives. He heals the sick. He calms life's storm and guides us. He blesses and increases our wealth. Amen, somebody. He defends and rescues. And then we had those two bonuses. So this has just been amazing, I'm telling you. And as always, we do have a decree, and I know this has gone twice as long as what we normally do, but I don't know. I felt like after the past 2 days that this really needed to be brought home and put together in a package. It felt a little disjointed until today, but I hope you guys were able to just really get the fullness of this like I have gotten in this thing. So I've really enjoyed the first series that we've had with Inspire with Fire. So it'll be fun to see what God does moving forward. But let's go ahead and anchor it. I know we've gone long already, so I don't want to delay anymore. We'll anchor it with our daily decree. And as always, read it aloud together. If you're not somewhere you can read it aloud right now, come back later. And it'll be posted on my Facebook wall in a meme deal, and you can read it aloud later. But it's important to say it out loud so that you get it into the atmosphere. Lots of reasons, but a couple. You get it into the atmosphere, and your brain hears your mouth say it, which anchors it in you. So here we go. Today, I will walk in wisdom. I will learn from the things God has shown me, spoken to me, and demonstrated to me. God's love and mercy are great in my life. One more time. Today, I will walk in wisdom. I will learn from the things God has shown me, spoken to me, and demonstrated to me. God's love and mercy are great in my life. It's been good, guys. This has been so good. I'm blown away this morning. I really am. I'm gonna have to go soak in this with some worship music. If you have time to do that, I encourage it. Start with Jen Johnson, "Goodness of God," because that song goes perfect with what we've talked about today. So that's where I'm going to start with my little worship soaking session this morning. I hope you do the same. And so I'm just going to close this out here. You know the drill. KristaAbbott.com, Kingdom818.com. Like, comment, follow, subscribe. And hey, share this. This today was, I think, one of the most powerful episodes we've had yet. If it ministered to you, share it with somebody that you think could benefit from it. I love you guys. I enjoy our time together each morning. We're gonna keep working toward the consistency, and my goal is to get to where I'm doing this every day, Monday through Friday. And we're getting there. Today's Thursday, and we've done 3, so we only missed 1 day this week. If I can hit tomorrow, boom. So anyway, I will see you guys hopefully tomorrow. And in the meantime, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May He make His face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May He turn His countenance toward you and give you peace. See you later.